Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a Monkey in the Morning special late night edition. Although it's not actually late night, we're still in prime time actually. So that's a stupid title, ain't it? Timmy, there's not many of us here. Well, I just decided to do this, so give people a moment and they'll show up. We're gonna be taking a look at something really fucking stupid tonight. This came to me over on the Twitter machine. I'm not even sure how I got tagged in all of this, but I'm glad I did, because it led me to this paper, Everything Terrible the Trump Administration Has Done So Far. And this is actually back from 2017. So 1 year into Trump's presidency, they have, oh, Jesus Christ. I think they've been adding to it as it goes along. And holy fuck, how many fucking, we are not going over all of these. Jesus, son of a bitch. Let's see, they have a total of 1,111. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, yeah, he keeps it continually updated. Fuck me. Okay. One, very much a lot of this is subjective because, well, it's just one asshole who thinks these are horrible things, terrible things, in fact. So we're just going to go through a few of them, have a little fun laughing at some of the dumbass shit that's here. Hi, everybody. I did a poll over on Twitter asking if I should stream, because honest to God, folks, somebody asked me, I think it was Toasted Network, asked me if I was going to stream tonight. And so I asked, and the answers were yes, no, or we know you will. And 84 people have voted so far, and 11% of them said no. So about 9 people have said, no, I shouldn't have done this. And to those people, I want to ask, why do you hate me? Why do you hate me? No, I don't care. You 10 or 8 or 9 people, however many that works out to, go watch Netflix and chill. Let's see what's going on over here. I don't know who's going to be joining us, if anybody will be joining us. That's how we do things here on Monkey in the Morning late night special. Whoever shows up that I think might be able to add to it, or I know is a good fit for the conversation, I'll bring them on in. A couple of people, Monkey streaming, surprise, and Monkey's addicted to streaming. I'm not addicted to streaming. I just like talking to you guys because you guys are the light of my life. Probably not my best song. My best song by far is Happy Birthday. So look for that on iTunes. I should really record my version of Happy Birthday and put it on iTunes. I think that'd be awesome. Jim Heelis, hello. The only problem is I have so many versions of iTunes. Hang on, I gotta clean up my screen here. I got too much shit open. Alrighty, there we go. Now, let's jump into this. For the record, guys, this is not my list of the things that Trump has done horribly so far. This is, oh, thank you, Dork. Dork says we all love your streams. I appreciate that. I don't know who this simpleton is. Should we go over this tweet stream first? A tweet stream, that's not a thing. Tweet exchange, I guess is the right word. God, Twitter, make this easier for me to find shit I want when I want it. I should be able to just think it and it should pop up on my screen. I'm old, I'm crippled. James Colley, thank you. Monkey is awesome. Why is Orange Man bad now? Well, there's actually, according to this guy, 1,111 reasons, and we will get to them in just a moment. But first, let's look at how this whole stream started. Or, God damn it, this whole Twitter thread started. Somebody tagged me in a video about Riley Dennis saying trans rights are under attack in the U.S., which I really haven't seen Riley's videos in a long time. I haven't watched them. I don't care. I mean, every so often I'll go over there and look. If I was still making videos on the regular, I'd probably do more videos about him because he is a good bellwether of the SJW lunatic left. But anyway, so there's the original tweet tagging me and many others in to Riley's video, and then somebody else putting that they had added a second comment regarding how cruel Riley is to trans people. And that person said, that comment said, wow, you're one of the people who thinks everyone who voted for Trump is an evil, racist, transphobe instead of looking at what is most logical and likely, aren't you? And then it goes on to say other stuff. Now, just based on that, the person who ended up tweeting out the list we're going to read said, the most logical explanation for voting for Trump is indeed stupidity, not malevolence. Hanlon's razor. Anyone with an IQ above 60 can listen to Trump try to speak and know instantly that he is profoundly stupid, selfish, bigoted, and corrupt. So you must be less than 60 to vote for him, which, by the way, not true. A lot of smart people voted for him. And a far more apt rule of thumb here is that anybody bragging about how smart they are is usually a fucking moron. And this person certainly seems to qualify. Apparently you can know instantly when somebody speaks whether or not they are bigoted. Now, you can if they're talking about things that show them to be bigoted. But otherwise, you're making a leap, and that would make you a fucking moron. Speaking of fucking morons, now this list was last updated 11/18/2018. So let's go all the way to the bottom. Start with number 1,111. It was revealed that the Trump administration immigration crackdown was scaring away immigrant families from using crucial social services. There's a link here. It was revealed. So let's see what the link is. This is from Vox. Study suggests Trump is scaring immigrant families off of food stamps. After that dirty bastard, you can tell he's selfish and racist and whatever else. By the way, guys, I am doing my best to look at chat while I do this. That becomes a lot harder when I'm the only one talking. So if I miss you, please understand, it's not that I don't love you. I love you a bunch. I love you in ways I probably shouldn't, that are illegal according to biblical text. Let's see. After 2 years of Donald Trump and his anti-immigrant rhetoric, no, back up, stop. Anti-illegal immigrant rhetoric, you fucking douchebag. Wow, I just almost choked to death on spit. I'm glad you guys were here for that. After 2 years of Donald Trump and his anti-immigrant rhetoric, fewer immigrant families are using federal food stamps, even though no changes have been made to the program or its eligibility rules. The implication, according to researchers who have been studying the program for decades and other experts tracking the consequences of Trump's immigration crackdown, is families who should still be eligible for those benefits, who still need them, have voluntarily decided to leave the program for fear that they would be at risk if they applied through official channels. In other words, it appears Trump is making immigrant families too afraid to apply for federal assistance so they can afford food. Researchers from the Boston Medical Center Children's Health Watch have run an ongoing survey of welfare recipients since the 1990s. Lead author Allison Bovell Ammon, god damn it, pick one last name, presented her and her colleagues' new finding this week at a meeting of the American Public Health Association. Their study found that participation in the Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program, known as SNAP, which is food stamps now, guys, because we have to keep changing the name of it, or people might, think they're food stamps. I don't know. By immigrant families who have been in the United States for fewer than 5 years and who are eligible, dropped by nearly 10% in the first half of 2018. Immigrant families who have been in the U.S. for more than 5 years also saw a drop in their SNAP participation, though smaller, at 2%. Based on what we've heard anecdotally, people are really scared for their future. Bovell, I'm just calling you Cal Lady from now on, said in an interview, these are preliminary findings and it's difficult to directly connect cause and effect here, but the Boston Medical Center study is some of the first data that supports what advocates and physicians who work with immigrant families have heard out in the field. Are you really supposed to be saying out in the field when it's immigrants? Isn't that kind of insensitive? Good night, baby. I love you. Okay, I love you, baby. Sorry, the lady monkey was there, and she always gets first billing. So yeah, there's according to this, yeah, only we've had a 10% drop off in illegals using benefits they shouldn't have. Thank you, Nighthawk. Needed something to watch. Listen, then Monkey popped in my feed. The gods are really looking out for me. Oh, thank you so much. I hope you enjoy this. I hope I am as entertaining. I can't talk where the fuck, but I hope I'm entertaining. Swear to you guys, I have not been drinking. I can't remember if I took my pills. Yes, I did. Okay. I say I can't remember because I'm in a fair bit of pain today, and we didn't do our normal stream tonight, which is when I set that so that I know I took them, but on Sunday nights that's a bit dodgy. Let's see. Number 1110 called Saudi Arabia a spectacular ally despite their murder of Jamal Khashoggi. Thank you, Meshishu. Renting Monkey proving once again he can't read worth a damn. That is true. By the way, there's an N in damn. But I wanted to. Do they not let you do that in Super Chat? Can you not even say damn properly? I know you have to say fuck, especially. I think it's great that YouTube is like, you can say whatever you want. You know, we'll get ad revenue off people in your chat saying, you know, fuck and shit and cunt and all these other words. But we're not going to let them do it in the Super Chats. We won't let them do it in the Super Chats. Fucking douchebags. I don't know whether Saudi Arabia is a spectacular ally or not, but them killing one dude doesn't make them a bad ally. I know we're not supposed to say that. We're not supposed to pretend that this one guy's death isn't the same as Archduke Ferdinand. Some people like Michael Avenatti apparently think we should go to war over this shit. There's one. Ebony Williams says, please say you got enough sleep, Monkey. Well, kind of. I slept 6 hours last night, and then I fell asleep around noon, and I woke back up around 7. So I've had lots of sleep, but my body probably needs more. Where was I? Oh, one dude dying, even killed by a crown prince of the Saudi Arabian government, or royal family. I don't know if that's considered part of their government, although it should be if it's not. It's not the end of the world. It shouldn't be the end of an alliance. It shouldn't be the end of everything that we built. And yes, the Saudis have a lot of problems. I'm not saying they don't. Please don't misunderstand it that way. I'm saying specifically the Khashoggi incident doesn't mean we should be like, you know, well, we'll never talk to them again. They're no longer my friend. This isn't fucking high school, guys. This is real world politics and on an international level. And yes, it's horrible what they did to that man. There should be some consequences, but I don't know what those consequences should be, to be honest. I'm not sure what you do when one guy dies or is murdered. Let's say it how it is, was murdered by the Saudi government. And I'm not sure Lewy meant it this way, but yeah, double standards much. We've killed people before. Just saying. Some dude says the prince never killed that journalist. There is some. I didn't say the prince killed him. He caused his death, according to what we're hearing lately. There was a call placed, and then Khashoggi was dead. So I don't know. Mash says, I said damn, not damn. Thanks for proving my point. Shush. I love you, Mash. Okay, let's see. What else do we have? Now, we're working backwards on this list, guys. I don't know how far we're going to get. James Colley, thank you. That fucking reporter wasn't even a U.S. citizen. True. I think that got blown way out of proportion. Look, it was horrible. Absolutely horrible what happened to him. This man went in to get some routine paperwork done, and they murdered him for it. Well, they didn't murder him for that, but they murdered him. And that's horrible. But again, we don't destroy our alliances because one guy got murdered. There are places around the world that think capital punishment is absolutely horrid and only the worst of the worst people would do it. Some states do. Should everybody that we have alliances with who's against capital punishment invade us over it, blow us up because we killed somebody? No, that's not how international relations work. And again, we're not talking about the Archduke of Spain, or is that where Ferdinand was from? I can't remember. We don't want to kick off World War I over again, which would be World War III. World War I Part 2? I don't know. We don't want to kick off a fucking world war over this one guy. And I'm sure that sucks to... Okay. Listen to what I'm saying. UFO Answer says the Saudis only killed one person. I am talking specifically about one person. This specifically is talking about Jamal Khashoggi. I'm not the one who made it just about that. Diesel Dave, thank you. Obama's drone strikes anyone? Yeah. Even killed an American that way. If we want to have, if we want to sit there and judge the Saudis and say we need to reassess our relationship, it should not just be about one guy. It should not just be about Jamal Khashoggi, period. His death, while tragic, is not enough to cause a war. Mash, thank you. Darn, not damn. Learn to read, Ranting Monkey. Look, it's on my smaller screen. I'm not wearing my glasses, and R and N close together look like an M. So there. Let's see where we are. Planned a costly privatization of care provider by the Department of for Veterans Affairs. I don't even know what they're whining about here. Trump administration plots costly private care expansion for veterans. This is from ProPublica. Never even fucking heard of you. The plan sets up a clash with Democrats who say the administration is thwarting congressional intent and will starve the VA health system to pay for private care. Have you guys paid attention to what's going on with the VA? And remember, under Obama, we had our soldiers dying because they couldn't get care in the VA system. So suck my balls. Having been in the military system growing up and then seeing private sector doctors, if you think your private sector doctors suck, go see a military one. And it's not a slam against military doctors, but these guys are overwhelmed, underpaid, and unless you catch them when they are very fucking young, they don't care anymore. They sign their paperwork and push you on to the next person you need to go see. And when growing up, I had one doctor that I would say actually cared. These are people who are going through the motions, and that's what government healthcare gets you guys. Let's see. This is number 1108. Issued new rules protecting those accused of sexual harassment. Oh, I know what this one's about. Betsy DeVos releases new rules on sexual harassment and assault that expands the rights of the accused. Now, I know this is hard for the male feminist crowd and the feminist crowd out there, but we do protect the rights of the accused in this country because a lot of people are falsely accused or misidentified. There's a reason that we do that. And it's because back in the colonies, somebody could just point to you and say, he did it, and you're dead. Or you go to prison or whatever the fucking Brits used to do to us that made us make sure that was a thing. Dork says, "I'll make, don't even get me started." What DeVos has done is reverse some of the Obama. What she should have done is completely reverse the Obama era Title IX instructions, which told colleges they had to set up basically kangaroo courts and force people out if they were ever even accused of sexual assault. The men, of course. Monkey, do you think there should be an age limit to run for president? There already is, and I actually think it should probably be raised to 40 at this point. Yes, I do think there should be one. James Colley said, I still want to see her rack. Who? Betsy DeVos? Huh? Who are we talking about? All right. But anyway, Betsy DeVos is changing the rules so that yeah, people who are falsely accused aren't ruined for life. Thank you, Terry Diamandis. False accusations don't exist unless they're against me. Michael Avenatti, 2018. No shit, right? And Pumpkin Trucker, thank you. Microwaving water is detrimental to reading skills. Oh, that's a slam at my tea making ability. Data says, how much do you want to bet Black Friday will be called racist this year? No shit, right? Anyway, the rules that Betsy DeVos is changing, like I said, they need to be completely rolled back. Title IX was not about making sure that anybody who makes a complaint in colleges of sexual harassment or sexual assault get heard by the colleges. That's not what college is fucking for. Oh, James Colley says the Kavanaugh chick. Oh, Ford, Christine Blasey Ford. Yeah, I'd look at her titties if they showed them. Or are you talking about Swetnick, Julie Swetnick, the one that was actually on that Avenatti actually represents? I'd probably look at her boobs too, but she looks kind of crazy. That bitch looks crazy. You don't put your dick in crazy. Now, I want to get this out this time. Shit. You guys are amazing. I appreciate all of the super chats. I was not expecting that, and I appreciate it. With the Obama era changes to Title IX, Title IX was supposed to allow or force schools to give women and girls the same ability to do things as boys. I mean, I'm trying to make that as vague as possible because it's hard to explain it without using examples and stuff. The most common example is if they have money for a male sports team, they have to give money to a female sports team. That was the basic premise behind it, was making things equal for boys and girls. The Obama administration came in and said, no. What you guys need to do is make sure no woman is ever sexually harassed on your campus anymore. And I'm being purposely vague. You can go look up the actual rules. And it led to things like Mattress Girl, a woman who was not assaulted, but became a huge celebrity, internet celebrity at least, over her false accusations. And the guy involved got fucking railroaded. And this has happened time and time again. Here's the thing. None of that shit belongs in college. The most that should ever be involved in college is going to your campus police, who are actual police. Other than that, you need to go to your city or your county or your town police, your sheriff department, some actual fucking law enforcement agency, not your goddamn college. Title IX actually takes the criminal justice part out of it, because a college can't send you to jail, which is if you are a rapist, where you need to go. And instead, with the changes to Title IX under the Obama administration, what it did was just like, you've been accused, your life is over. You did no due process, just all of that shit out the window, which was fucking retarded. And Betsy DeVos has changed things. I don't think they've actually been implemented yet, but the new rules are out there, and it's going to change what Title IX covers. And there's a bunch of fucking pussy ass liberals who think, oh my God, now the accused have protections. Yes, you know why? Because they're fucking accused. We're not talking about the guilty here. We're talking about the fucking accused. So many times I look at what's going on in America today, and like, have you ever read the Constitution and why we have it? Seriously, because I mean, you're sitting here, oh my God, how dare they have rules protecting the accused? What if I accuse you of something? Don't you want rights protecting you? Oh well, no, not if it's a sexual harassment accusation. No. Then fuck you. You got to immediately go to jail. This is fucking stupid. It's fucking stupid, and I hate people. Remember, guys, this is a list of things that makes the Trump administration horrible. Helping people who are, innocent not be treated as though they're criminals. Random American college will ruin your life. If not for the false accusations, then with the crippling debt. No offense, ranting, but no, the crippling thing, I agree. At least mine is a physical disability rather than you actually not being able to live your fucking life because you owe $100,000 to a school that gave you an education you can't even fucking use. It's fun. Crippling is the actual right word there, random. Yeah, Aethertos, they can't tell the difference between accused and guilty. And it's amazing. The only time that they can tell that is if it's somebody they know. If somebody they know is accused of sexual assault, then it's like, oh no, it wasn't them. They didn't do that. Wait, how dare you judge them? We have that with the Avenatti thing right now. He was accused of beating a woman. Oh, don't believe that shit. No. Believe me. Believe what I say. Because I'm a woman's advocate. And you know a male feminist would never hurt a woman. Let's see. Number 1,107 here admitted that he had installed Matthew Whitaker as Attorney General over the Russian probe. No, that's not what he did. That is a gross misinterpretation. You're gonna, before I even click this, is gonna be the Vox link, right? Oh, this is Esquire. Oh, my bad. I read it on Esquire. Trump just blurted out unprompted that he installed his pet attorney general over the Russia probe. Comes from Jack Holmes. Let's see, where's the quote here? Daily Caller this is the Daily Caller questioning, and then President and blah blah blah. Daily Caller, sure. Could you tell us where your thinking is currently on the Attorney General position? I know you're happy with Matthew Whitaker. Do you have any names, Chris Christie? And Trump answered, Matthew Whitaker is a very respected man. He's very importantly, he's respected within the DOJ. I heard he got a very good decision. I haven't seen it. Kellyanne, did I hear that? Kellyanne Conway responds, 20 pages. President replies, 20 pages? Daily Caller said, it just came out right before this, sir. POTUS said, well, I heard it was a very strong opinion, which is good, but Whitaker is just somebody who is very respected. I knew him only as it pertained, as he was with Jeff Sessions. By trying to read Donald Trump talk is it makes me feel stupid sometimes. And no, look, as far as I'm concerned, this is an investigation should have never been brought. It should have never been had. It is something that should have never been brought. It is an illegal investigation, and it is very interesting because when you talk about the Senate, well, Mueller's not Senate confirmed. Daily Caller said, right. Nowhere in there did he say I put Whitaker in there because of his opinion of this. Literally, they just said the reporting question that Whitaker says that he doesn't agree with the investigation or whatever it says came out right before this. So it wasn't even out when Trump tapped him to be the acting attorney general. Yeah, AG, right? I can't remember. Fuck, I don't care. Ethan Long, thank you. The Constitution is actively standing in the way of progression, utopia, future. Sorry, dystopian future. Yes, indeed, it is, and it's so fucking weird to me that they don't get it. They don't understand what they're asking for because they believe in their heart of hearts that it's only going to happen. It's only going to be used against the bad men. Because they're fucking morons. They don't know any better. They're fucking retarded. Okay, number 1,106. Offered to allow Turkey to kill a U.S. resident in order to calm their anger over the murder of Jamal Khashoggi. This comes from the Intelligencer. Trump mulls letting Turkey kill U.S. resident to help Saudis get away with killing U.S. resident. In an op-ed for the Washington Journal earlier this week, Mark Rubio wrote that Donald Trump's brand of nationalism is not a creed that subordinates Enlightenment values to zero-sum tribalism, as French President Emmanuel Macron had recently suggested. That is some fucking horrible writing. Rather, the Florida senator argued that the president's national ethos was rooted in his deep appreciation for America's identity as a nation committed to the idea that all people are created equal with a God-given right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. There are more than a few problems with that thesis that Donald Trump only puts America first because America does the same for the concept of universal rights. No, we don't. But an especially conspicuous one is that the president disdains the concept of human rights more than he reveres his fellow Americans. Or so Trump's handling of the Jamal Khashoggi murder would suggest. Okay, get to the part where you're okay, apparently there's a dude over there, and I don't care. I don't care. You are the same people who had no problem with Obama actually killing a U.S. citizen. So unless you can make an argument that because what they're talking about, there's a guy in Turkey who's in their custody, and they're talking about killing him as part of the coup against Erdogan, or however the fuck you say his name. And Trump is apparently going to go, okay, we're not going to send in the military to stop it or something. So yeah, that we're bad man. What you should do, Mr. Trump, is send a drone over there, kill them all, including the American, and the liberals will love you for it. Oh God, there's still more. A lot of this is about Turkey and Saudi Arabia. Let's get to some more interesting ones. It was revealed in testimony by the Census Bureau's top scientists that the decision to include a citizenship question in number 592 was made over the protest of census officials and before any research on the cost had been conducted. You're literally arguing that they're going to, or upset that they're going to ask people if they are citizens. What is the citizen question? I'm curious because that seems like it should be a given. Are you a U.S. citizen? Are they just worried that we're going to find out how many illegals there are? Director of the ACLU's Voting Rights Project pressed Abode about a separate Census Bureau estimate showing that the non-response rate to a census survey with a citizenship question on it increased more among households with at least one non-citizen. But oh God. Okay, so much like the food stamps, the people who are illegal, who by the way shouldn't be filling out the census anyway, they won't fill out the census. Oh God. Dorky says, Ranting Monkey, I've decided I'm going to give you a Aussie name. I'll get back to you. Cool. And Princess Eureka, is that how you say it? Eureka? Do you think you'll do a stream with Direwolf? I've streamed with Direwolf before. He's a good guy. I actually talked to him when his channel was first coming up, and I haven't talked to him a lot since then, but yeah, I like Direwolf. He's a good guy. And I say that hoping nothing horrible will ever come out against him, because you gotta be careful with that on YouTube. Like, I like this person, and then something horrible comes out about him. Like, fuck. Let me preface it. Let me say this. Anytime I say I like a creator or a person, it is based on my interactions with them, not anything they've done otherwise. Shit, Dyer's channel deserves more or needs more attention. It does. Dyer's a good guy, man. I like him, and I like his content. I actually really like his accent, and I can't place it. I know he's American, but he's got an accent that I just can't place. I'm a fan of accents, and it's almost got me in trouble before. There were times when I've been working like retail and stuff, and somebody will come up to my counter or wherever, and they'll say something. And instead of listening to what they just said, my first question is, where's that accent from? And if it's a beautiful lady, you always have that worry. I'm not hitting on you. I just really like your accent. What is that? James Colley, thank you. It seems like these reasons revolve around Russia investigation, foreign reporters killed, and illegal immigrants. Am I wrong? No, you're not wrong. Although there are some, Let's go all the way back up to the top of the list because the first one on the list actually made me laugh. Halted Obamacare implementation, began process of repeal, which is expected to cause 18 million people to lose their health insurance immediately and 32 million to lose their health insurance in 10 years. Let's talk about that for a minute. What he actually halted was the individual mandate. This is the part of the law that says every person must have health insurance. It's the part of the law that made it illegal to exist without paying basically a tax. And when that was first brought up during the Obamacare arguments, the Obama administration was like, it's not a tax. It's not a tax. But when they argued in front of the Supreme Court, they're like, it's a tax. It's a tax, so it's okay for us to implement it. Nope, thank you. Kick Turkey out of NATO. Let Europe spend the money they aren't spending on their military to deal with the refugees Erdogan is threatening to release. You know what? It's not our problem. I will agree with that part. There's so many times now. I need to be careful how I say this. We do have an interest in what's going on in the world, but there's a lot of times we get way too invested when it's not our problem. And we've been a big supporter of turkeys for a long time, and some of it's okay and some of it's not. We have to get into specifics to know, which is which. I'm with Monkey. I like accents. Well, some anyway. I definitely like chicks with American accents. Good for you, Peter. Dig chicks with American accents. I really like a Southern belle. I'm not going to lie. Polly, are you available, dude? Are you available right now? Because I know you guys got. I'm going to stop this, guys, before 11:30 because Minions of the Zoo have their stream, and you should go watch them instead of listening to me. But Polly, if you're available, I'll take you because, dude, this is some fun shit. Okay, back to Obamacare. Right now, it's being talked about as though Obamacare was put in place for poor people. Oh, Prospero, you're there too. I'm sorry, sweetie. You want to come on? I will take you as well. I would love to hear you guys' insights on these things. Some of it's just fucking stupid. It really is. I'm not even waiting for you guys. I'm sending you the links, and if you don't want it, you can skip it. Sorry, guys. Give me just a moment here while I send these links to these guys. That's how my brain actually works, what you just heard there. I'm in the middle of something, do something, it pauses for a second, and then it keeps going. Anyway, so when Obamacare was implemented, it was never about poor people. Was not about poor people. And anybody who tells you it is full of shit. Obamacare is not about healthcare for poor people. Obamacare was about getting health insurance to a bunch of Americans who didn't want it, specifically young, healthy people. I think it's 18 to 34-year-old crowd was the most likely to be uninsured. And the reason for that was they made choices not to be. It was low down on their list. And there's a reason for that because they're young and healthy. So they're like, I don't really need insurance. The problem with that, though, is in order to pay for insurance for everybody else, for the poor, the sick, the young, the people who are most likely to end up going to a doctor, they need the money from the healthy people because this is how insurance works. You take all of these people in a group and you say, okay, if something bad happens to one of us, our money is going to cover that person. The more people you have that are not likely to need insurance in your insurance pool, the better it is for you because it ends up paying for everybody else. If you get too many people who need it, well, then you run out of money. And that's what's been happening. And the insurance companies were like, guys, we need more money. We need that money if we're going to do this Obamacare plan you want. So what they did is they implemented the individual mandate, meaning everybody legally had to have insurance so they could get money from all those healthy young people who weren't getting it. So Yeah, this idea that 18 million people will lose their health insurance immediately. There's a lot of them who didn't want it. I believe it was 42 million people was the number they used to throw around who didn't have insurance, and the vast majority of them didn't want it. Poor people were already covered on the low end of the range and the high end. You had Medicaid for the young people, Medicare for the older, plus various different state programs. Poor people were covered. It was the young, healthy people, and they wanted their money. So if it goes back to 42 million people who don't want insurance not having it, good. More power to them. Hopefully you don't get hurt. Because that's the problem we really have is when, people are like, well, you don't have insurance. I guess you're going to pay this out of pocket. And then they get in trouble. So you should still have insurance, but you shouldn't be forced to. The UFO answer over on Streamlabs. Thank you. Sales tax is a tax to exist. Payroll tax is a tax in order to work. Most states require insurance in order to own a car. Gas tax exists. Income tax exists. How is the individual mandate fundamentally different from most taxes? Okay. Sales tax is not a tax to exist. It is a tax to buy things. Payroll tax is a tax on work. You don't have to have car insurance if you don't own a car in most states. There are a few states that have a weird thing, and I would move out of those states. Gas tax exists, income tax exists. Yes, all of those things, you have to do something in order to have to pay that tax. You can sit there and argue, well, you have to buy shit. You can live off the land. There are people who live completely off grid. They don't pay sales tax unless, you can go live off the land completely if you want to. Hi, Prospero. How are you, sweetie?
Doing pretty well, Monkey. How are you?
Good. You're a little bit low.
Alrighty. How's that?
Let's see what I can do. Okay, say hi.
Hello.
Chat, can you hear her okay? Thank you, Perennial Plant Yamoon. Yaman? I'm not sure how to say that. I apologize. Make government student loans illegal. They now enslave grads to bigger debt. Pass a law forgiving all loans and ending all government funds loans to universities. Let the fittest schools survive on your own. I don't disagree with most of that except for forgiving all loans. These are people, you took out a loan, pay it back. Okay, I'm hearing that you sound normal, which is fine, so that's good.
It sound normal and
oh shit,
be normal is a different thing.
I don't have anybody on stream with me, and my headphones are really low, so I have to turn them up. That was entirely my fault. I apologize.
Oh, okay. Well, that's okay.
You sound fine. That was all me. Monkey fucking up again.
Welcome to my world.
So anyway, back to this, your statement there, UFO. The individual mandate is the only tax that you have to pay simply for existing. Whether every other one of those, you have to do something in order to have to pay that tax. There are states with no sales tax. There are states with no income tax. I mean, you still have your federal income tax, but there are ways to get around most of these depending on where you live and how much you're willing to live off the land. You cannot legally exist in the United States without having health insurance. That's how it is different than anything else. Polly! Hello, Polly.
Polly! Shut up, Polly!
Do you feel welcome, Polly?
Okay, well, that's a wonderful welcome. How are you?
I'm well. How you doing tonight, bud?
I'm surviving.
You feeling better?
No, but surviving.
Is it the giving up of the whiskey? See, you give up the whiskey, you get the 6.
You give up the whiskey, you get the 6. Oh, like as in sick plural. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
No. I haven't drank in days and days because I've been sick. So.
Okay, I don't know if you've been listening. We're going through a list of 1,111 things that make the Trump administration horrible so far. Hang on. We're sending out one more invite. This is number 2 on the list, and this was originally written back in January 25th of 2017, and he's just been updating it since. Number 2 on his list was prevented foreign NGOs which receive U.S. funding from providing abortion counseling.
Oh, Christ.
No, he didn't. What he did is tell them if they want to have that funding, they can't provide the abortion counseling. He didn't prevent them from doing it, just prevented them if they wanted U.S. funding, and that's fine. It's our money. It's okay for us to put limits on it. Now, do I agree with that limit? I don't know. But
these are foreign NGOs, though, right?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, so they're foreign NGOs.
But it's money that we're giving them, Prospero. We should just give it to them.
Yeah, no.
Scribbles, how you doing, bud?
This is supposed to be my night off, monkey.
Mine too. How's that working out for you?
Well, I just finished a second video script. Man, I tell you, I got 2 whole videos just kind of built. I just have to record the audio and everything. I wasn't happy with the first one all that much.
Well, do one for me too.
Well, I'm probably gonna end up with 2 here pretty quick because the first one's really relatively short, and the second one is not that long. And boy, I've had a very productive day, but still feel like bleh. That's just me. What are you up to?
Hi, Scribe.
Hello. How are you, Prospero?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Real quick, the UFO answer says over on the Streamlabs, and I would be one of those thrown off insurance if the pre-existing condition protective were eliminated, which the Republicans want to do. My life would be shortened as a result. What are your thoughts on pre-existing condition protections? I think they should be there. I think that's fine. But it is going to increase the cost of insurance. I, as somebody with a pre-existing condition, have that same problem. So it's not like I'm just up here like I fuck the cripples. I mean,
if we had addressed the pre-existing conditions instead of trying to address every single solitary minute thing that people bitched about in healthcare, it could have been done without creating a mandate that forced people into a one-size-fits-all policy. The idea that somebody my age needs to have birth control.
Yep. Thank you.
Or pregnancy coverage is insane.
Yeah, gay couples have to have, gay men have to have pregnancy protection. Real quick. Thank you, Mashishu. Menstrual moonshine. We're not going. No.
Oh, God. No.
Anyway,
no.
Polly, you were saying?
Well, I mean, it's the idea that someone your age should have to have birth control. Right. And I hear you. And on my insurance policy, I'm covering, I'm paying for pap smears,
right?
Breast exams.
Well, that's what I mean.
Like a whole series of things. And the whole idea is that I'm subsidizing. This is the way insurance works, right? Like I've got fucking, I kid you not, aromatherapy is one of the things that's partially covered on my insurance policy. And it's like, but not like crucial things that I need. So there
isn't an actuary in the world, though, that decides to run a risk pool that way. And that's what makes it nutty. Indeed. I mean, I don't have a prostate to examine, and you don't have a uterus to examine, Polly. So you all the prorations that are done through insurance are tailored specifically to individuals. It's that way in life insurance.
Hey,
this is my problem.
Not every man has a prostate, guys. Come on.
God damn you.
Stop it, Scribe.
Here's my problem with it. It's not that your insurance covers aromatherapy, Polly. It's that your insurance by federal law had to cover pap smears for you. That's retarded.
No, I mean, I get it. And it's, I get the ideas that they're trying to spread the cost around. And it's like to include something like pap smears. It's not a schmear, it's a smear.
Smear.
You don't put it on a bagel.
That's right. You don't
on a bagel.
You don't schlep to go get your schmear.
You don't know what that doctor does with it when you leave.
Oh God.
Oh God.
I haven't thought about that fucking vaginal yeast bread in a while. Thanks for bringing that back to my mind.
Moonshine.
Oh.
No, to make it like this is through my university, and to make it cost effective, right? Like every student has to sign on to it. You know what I mean? It's just a function of your tuition costs and so forth. And it's if we're going to cover all the female students, to not charge female students more, we have to charge male students to spread it around equally.
Spread that schmear.
Spread the schmear. Yes. The pap smear schmear.
Oh, stop it. Please. I'm just imagining vaginal yeast bagels on sale next week. Mit Schmear.
Kosher.
Mit Schmear.
Yay.
Anyhow, let's
Ich habe Cocaine geschniffen.
Did you have any? I'm sorry, Polly. I know we cut you off a lot there. Did you have more on that? Because I have other. We have 1,111 of these we can go through.
Yeah, the insurance thing is just
who collected this list?
This is a dude named. Oh God, I'm gonna have to scroll up to see it. Right. The site is called Papers. It's .wordpress.com by Mr. Westerfield. It's just some dude who's collecting these and showing how horrible Trump is. Thank you, Ragnak. LASIK eye surgery is same as plastic surgery to insurance companies. So hundreds of contacts or glasses yearly, but not something that fixed my eyes. Well, this is something that you have to look at with insurance companies. They make that determination. Are they wrong sometimes? I think so. My insurance company, when I worked at the shop, when I was young, they would pay for a vasectomy outright. They would not pay for a woman to get her tubes tied. What is that called? Tubal ligation? Is that the technical term? Yeah. And the reason they did that is because it is much cheaper to fix a man than a woman, even if a woman needed it for whatever reason. Nope. Thank you. Viewer count dropping like flies. Wonder why. Flies attracted to a badge bagel.
I didn't start that fire.
Let's see. Where'd that go? I had to scroll up to who said it, and I lost the one I wanted to see. Let's just pick one at random. Rated as doctor's private practice to seize his medical records and dictate his own medical evaluations as a candidate.
Yeah, that's what happened. Sure.
Yeah. Pincalo, thank you. Hi, Monkey. If you're done by 10:30, hop over and watch Blind Press. Whoop me. Last episode of the Dreamcast next week will be the first Beat the Blind. What's the difference with what's Beat the Blind? By the way, guys, Blind Press is a blind game player. You guys got to check this shit out. It is amazing. I'm going to be wrapping up probably around 11:30, Pincalo. I will come over and watch. If you guys are already done, I'll watch the replay. If not, I'll watch catch you guys live for the end of it before hopping over to the Minions of the Zoo and watching that for the end. Yeah, this dude, I mean, just everything.
I remember a lot of free time on his hands.
I remember reading Ben Shapiro's book. I'm trying to remember the name of it right now, on the criminality of the Obama administration. And there were parts of it where he was reaching, but nothing like this guy. This is just
threatened to end all trade with U.S. allies.
Oh,
is that what he did?
No.
Is that what he did? I don't think that. Yeah, he didn't say we're not going to trade with anybody else. Claimed Canada stabbed us in the back. Yeah, he was hyperbolic. Is that a horrible thing he did? Really? Oh my God. Misspelled separation on executive orders on family separations.
Yeah,
that needs Jesus Christ.
Okay, I'm not going to say that I'm happy with legislators who can't proofread, but all the same, if you're going to call that like some big major, no.
Remember, these are the horrible things that the Trump administration did. Misspelled something.
Yeah, like Crystalliza doesn't do the same.
Yeah, no shit.
Well, he wasn't elected to office. He wasn't elected.
No, I think he was appointed. I think he was appointed by somebody at CNN to ruin your brain, Scribe.
I think he was inherited from Gawker.
Yeah.
Shit. Initially declined to fly fags. Oh my God.
Monkey.
Let me try that again. Initially declined to fly flags at half-mast for the victims of the Capitol Gazette.
Okay. not to diminish that tragedy, but the flag is not flown at half-staff for most mass shootings.
Right. But
when did we start dropping it to half staff for all these ridiculous things?
whenever it's been decided that it is a national tragedy.
Yeah, if it's something, I mean, like 9/11, yeah. You know, or if the next president passes away, or like if a whole bunch of cops get killed or something. It's not, like I say, it's not to diminish the tragedy of like innocent people being shot, but that example alone is not indicative of anything other than, well, were all the flags lowered at half staff for the Pulse shooting? Did Obama bring them down for that? No.
Well, I do remember the complaints around it. Like, why not? Why not? Well, why was it being reported? Well, because it was a bunch of journalists that were shot.
Yep.
And they view themselves as a protected class.
Right.
But the truth is, like with 9/11, it should have been lowered because this was it was a terrorist attack against the U.S.
Oh yeah.
Some crazy motherfucker shooting people is not the same. And I'm not, as Scribe said, I'm not diminishing the deaths there. I'm not saying, this wasn't horrible. However, there is a difference, and it's the nation being attacked versus some asshole.
Now, imagine if I was being a WordPress fucker, and every time I got an inkling to be angry at then President Obama, every time there's a mass shooting on a street level in Barack Obama's hometown of Chicago, the White House flag should be at half mast. The motherfucker would have never made it to the top of the pole.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Number 1087 said the military should shoot rock throwing migrants and allegedly tried to use the military as law enforcement, even though it would violate the Constitution. No. Border security. That is not the same as posse comitatus, bitches. Yeah,
no, it's not. But joking about nuking people who won't hand over their guns, now that's fine. That's not an outrage. Let's not report on that. We'll leave it to the YouTube people to bitch about that, right?
Ollie, it was a joke. You got to understand it was a joke.
Yeah,
just joking, bro.
Announced that he will hold undocumented immigrants in detention until deportation and will block asylum seekers from claiming asylum if they are crossing the border outside a legal port of entry.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
You mean follow the law?
Yeah, I know, right?
Hey, monkey, open borders, bro. What the hell?
Oh man.
Jesus fuck.
Screw national sovereignty, goddammit, bend over.
That is literally saying follow the law.
Right.
Johnny Hellcat, thank you. So Obamacare is where the era of the non-binary inclusivity began. Thanks, Obama. Been trying to send that forever. Oh, was it just not coming? YouTube, fix your shit. Did you guys see it? It had gone down earlier today.
Yeah.
It was down for like 2 hours earlier. Luckily, I was asleep.
I'm looking for what changed. I always assumed there's something they were doing.
They fucked something up. Cut funds for Palestinian peace groups.
Oh, you mean those peaceful people lobbing missiles into Sidero?
Yeah, the ones that had the Molotovs at the those nice guys.
So peaceful.
Like, I want to hear who the peace groups are in detail.
Well, let me see.
That you're calling them that.
Each one of these has a, I should send that to everybody. So I'm going to throw it in the regular chat for anybody who wants to follow along or read some. I should have done that at the beginning. My bad. But there's links on every one of these. That's all it says. This is to a site called wburr.org. It says an interfaith group that fosters intersection between Israelis and Palestinians lost funding because the Trump administration effort to penalize Palestinian leaders. That's it.
Okay.
All right. That one made me laugh. That was awesome.
Is Antifa a peace group too?
Probably.
Yeah.
They're just trying to work together to bring Jews and non-Jews together.
Right. As long as we make sure the Jews are recognizable somehow.
As long as they don't talk to Trump supporters, and then it's okay to fucking headbutt them on camera. She vowed to end birthright citizenship, which would reduce countless immigrants to a perpetual second-class citizen or class status and violate the Constitution. No and no. You know what makes them second-class citizens is the fact they're not supposed to be here. They're here illegally.
That makes them citizens. Not at all.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding.
Oh my goodness, Polly, don't lecture us on civics.
Well, somebody's got to, damn it.
I'm going in, you know.
Oh, God. Deployed 5,200 troops to meet the caravan of asylum-seeking refugees from Central America.
Oh, the ones that are tearing Tijuana?
What, refugees from what? That hasn't even been determined.
Maybe Iran. You know?
Did you see the video of them all like climbing the fence in Tijuana?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like they're really seeking asylum. Yeah.
Like, okay, you know what? Detroit is falling the fuck apart. Like large areas of Detroit, I should say, are falling the fuck apart. Right? If somebody like can't find a job there and they've been legit trying and they're like living low because of it, and then they move to another town that's booming, are they a refugee?
No.
Are they an economic migrant?
No. That's what they are, yeah.
Right.
You're a U.S. citizen who just simply voted with their feet.
Yeah, you moved to somewhere where you could get you had better prospects. I've got no problem with someone moving somewhere so they can get better prospects, but you have, a freedom of mobility as a citizen. You know what I mean? The idea that like I'm a refugee because I'm trying to find better prospects, like economically and so forth. It's I don't count you as a refugee. You're not a refugee from being broke.
Well, yeah, so everybody from Detroit, like obviously they have this. If they have the same argument as somebody from Mexico, then they should just be able to walk into France or walk into Germany because they'll take them, right?
And that's what I mean.
Questions asked. Yeah, sure.
There's a freedom of mobility for citizens and green card holders, permanent residents.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a freedom of mobility for non-citizens into the country. I don't see that as a.
And
Scribe just came up with a genius idea, and we're missing it.
What's
Cost effectiveness. Load the migrants onto planes and fly them to Berlin.
I say we send them to Detroit.
Are you saying we should have a second Great Berlin airlift?
Yes. Except we're not pushing them out. We're actually going to land and let them out and say, Angela, darling, here's some more migrants.
Ethan Long, thank you. Whose list is this? Who made it? The guy at the top. I'm sorry, I'm way down at the bottom. But this is papers.wordpress.com. It's some guy who's collecting news articles about Trump and then listing how that makes them horrible. Which, for the record, the next one that I want to highlight is number 1068. Invited Putin to the White House.
Oh my God.
He invited a world leader to the White House.
The horror.
Did Putin ever go to Obama's White House?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I mean, I honestly don't know. I'm just curious.
Let's see. I don't know.
Okay.
And I can't find it. Somebody find that and let me know.
I don't know. But I mean,
Sorry, go ahead, Scribe.
I was going to say, whether you think he's there legitimately or not, he is the leader of that nation.
Yep.
And we have to deal with him. I mean, we can't. We could certainly say, we're not going to have Gaddafi over to the White House. Sure, fine.
Well, he's dead. That's probably.
He's dead.
Yeah.
Like a Gaddafi-like figure, or Kim Jong-un, or somebody else who we think is a dictator, except for the Saudi Arabian princes who are just not dictators in name only.
Right.
But
right.
But yeah, I don't understand. It's like, well, you don't like Putin, okay? And he's still running with the second largest, at least by land mass, nation on the planet. So I don't know what to tell you. He's a world leader.
Scribe, don't you remember the leaning over to say to Medvedev, after I'm reelected, I'll have more flexibility?
Indeed.
Yeah. So as far as collusion, that is as reeky as anything Trump has done. So
I have another donation over on the Streamlabs from the UFO Answer. Thank you so much. Sorry for going back to healthcare, but what are your thoughts on the seemingly bipartisan support that puts steep restrictions on doctors prescribing opioids? I do believe that child athletes were overprescribed, but legislation will hurt pain patients. Somebody want to go before me?
Well, the first thing I say is that, I don't think there's any doubt that there is obviously a problem with the ease of availability of opioids, and we won't have a problem if we do. So some revisions or relooking at how those, the rules for distributing those and under what circumstances and for how long, et cetera. I don't think it's unreasonable to relook at that. But yeah, that's where my brain stops. Sorry.
I have a problem with the government getting involved with patient health care like that. I do, because there are people who need it. And when I went to my doctor, I hadn't been to him in many years before I went to him for all of this. Oh. And he used to, my doctor was you should never be in pain guy. Right. To the point, he probably way overprescribed. And then I come back to it, and all you see is all over the walls is these notices about how the government has changed the rules, and you can't get opioids for, seriously, you can't have opioids for blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, I understand that there's a problem here. Opioids are highly addictive. I think if doctors were using them right, Congress wouldn't have had to get involved.
Probably.
There's literally no question they were overprescribed. I know people who got them for migraines, and while there are some migraines that you need that, these people were popping opioids every day.
Yeah. The AMA also refuses to police their membership, so they abrogated it to the control of the government, which is insane because a one-size-fits-all does not work in medicine.
Exactly. I think she just said it better than I could. I don't like the government involved in that. I don't, but their hand was kind of forced here, unless you just want people I've seen too many people ruined by them. I really have.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Charles Krauthammer made a really full-throated argument about the government getting involved in this, because he said doctors of conscience actually understand this. And he was a doctor, granted of psychiatry, but he completed his full medical degree, and he was a person who had suffered an incredibly traumatic injury. And he was like, you don't understand. It's very easy to dismiss opioid use and say, well, it's addictive and blah, blah, blah. But he said, leaving a patient in pain is utterly against the nature of a doctor.
The Hippocratic Oath.
Yeah, he said, we're not supposed to allow people to suffer. Years ago, when it was laudanum and the poppy was used, it was actually believed that some people had to be on very low dose for the rest of their lives to manage. And that's still done with chronic pain patients. They're fully functional. They just find that balanced dose of the opioid where they can be literally functional addicts.
Well, we're also talking about the fact there's also the fact that synthetic opioids have become a problem. That's where we have a real big problem.
Yeah.
I wish I could answer better than that. My honest answer is I don't like that the government's in there. I agree with Prospero. One size fits all is not a good rule. And I think, you're right. Patients are going to suffer. They are. But I don't know another answer. I really don't.
Well, it turns into this needs of the many outweighing the needs of the few argument, which always makes me twitch, because it just, we're supposed to be a nation of individualists, God damn it. And we're supposed to treat people as individualists, not as giant statistical categories. And we're drifting towards statistical categorization in everything.
Who is that said that? Evil Bastards, to check your DMs on Twitter. I sent you something about how often He's been there.
Sorry, I'm just checking the origins of a lot of things that he's saying here. And they're sorry. Go ahead, Monkey.
Evil bastard. I don't see a DM from you. Anyway, yeah, some of his sources are fucking horrible. Let's see. Withdrew from the immediate range nuclear force treaty. Didn't he just threaten to do that?
I forget if he followed through. I do agree that is a bad idea.
Yeah, we talked about that one when it happened, because that's we're talking about nukes here. So the less we have, I think, the better. Once again, threatened to deploy the military to the border. Well, if people would stop coming in illegal. Oh my God. 1044. Remember, this is one of the most horrible things that he's done. You ready for this?
I don't know.
Called Stormy Daniels a horse face.
Oh,
wow.
Come on, that was epic. What are you talking about?
Wait. We all know that the only horse face is Sarah Jessica Parker.
Indeed. And Sarah Jessica Parker looks like a horse.com is the best site on the internet, or is a horse.com. I can't remember what the exact name is. But that's one of the worst things. Healthcare brought to you by Star Trek, another totalitarian regime. Look, I really hate the government being involved in that at all. I really do. And somebody mentioned marijuana, and you know what? Maybe with states allowing more and more marijuana use for medical things, we can get the opioid thing under control more.
That would be nice. That would be really, really helpful.
What else do we have here? Criticize the Federal Reserve for raising interest rates. Oh, you bastard.
Oh, criticizing. Oh, for fuck's sake, seriously. That's a horrible thing he's done. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Some of these things are just halted visas for same-sex partners of immigrants.
What?
Donald Trump's administration began denying visas to the unmarried same-sex partners of foreign diplomats and officials and employees of the United Nations this week, making marriages a requirement to be eligible for a visa. The policy was made effective Monday, and this was back in October, apparently.
Yeah, like somebody could always claim to be a partner of somebody and then not be, and then stay and disappear into the ether. Which, I mean, we do have a lot of problem with people overstaying visas.
It comes despite the fact that the majority of countries do not recognize same-sex marriage, and many same-sex couples face persecution in their own countries. Well, whose fault is that?
America's.
Yes, it's Donald Trump's. Donald Trump. Oh my God.
Yeah, they all forget the Peter Thiel appearance at the convention, don't they?
It's,
yeah,
I love 522. He denied Russian election meddling.
Shoot.
Yeah, he should.
That's horrible. That's just the bastard.
He should have admitted it. Damn it!
Exactly. It's obvious.
My fantasy.
Sued for withdrawing animal welfare rules. What the hell is that about?
What number are you on now?
Let's see. This one is 711. I'm just floating all over this thing.
Okay, so am I. I'm just when one catches my interest, because they're all just all over the place. It's
Toasted said, "Did you hear TYT on Michael Avenatti?" No, I don't watch them very often. The only time I watch TYT would be when I wanted to make a video and it's like, I don't have a subject. Let's go see what these morons are saying.
I got curious about number 509. Locked up U.S. citizens without charges. Notice that plural, citizens, right? So I go look it up, and it's from the ACLU website. The Trump administration is keeping a U.S. citizen secretly locked up without charges. And in reading through their article here, the Trump administration is calling the citizen an enemy combatant under the rules established 2 presidencies ago now, claiming that he was fighting ISIS in Syria, but it has not presented any evidence to back up the allegations. To you? They haven't presented any evidence to you? Well, I'm surprised they didn't ship it.
Yeah.
You know. And
what was the thing? 509 lock up U.S. citizens.
Yeah, 509. Hold on, I have to go back and look now.
And what does that have to do with ISIS? I feel like I missed something.
This, hold on. It's
people who left and fought for.
Yeah, the court.
Oh,
was
okay,
asking,
okay.
The Trump administration is calling the citizen an enemy combatant. He was arrested in Iraq, fighting for ISIS, and had gone from Iraq to Syria and was captured in Syria. And they haven't presented any evidence to this. And then they filed for a writ of habeas corpus. Of course, they petitioned for it anyway.
What he should have done is use a drone just to kill the guy, and we'd be fine.
Right? Yeah, secretly with just in the White House, conspiring with planning with your CIA director. It's fine. It's fine.
Or kill a U.S. citizen extrajurisdictionally, and that's just perfectly fine because you couldn't declare him an enemy combatant before you did that.
Yeah, and digging up things from years ago that these people did. That's good, right? Unless, of course, it's John Brennan, your CIA director, that you're planning these killings with, that voted for the Communist Party throughout the 90s. Anyway, it's true. It's actually true that he did that. All citizens have the right to habeas corpus, no matter where the government holds them or what they're accused of. You ended a sentence in a preposition, ACLU. Get good. That's actually not true if it's a war zone and they are an enemy combatant. Habeas corpus doesn't apply. You guys should know that.
Yeah, it was. The problem is the Guantanamo ruling has muddied the waters there.
Yeah, but the ACLU should know that. And Mr. Westingham, or whatever the guy is who's making this list, merely listed as number 509 locked up U.S. citizens without charges. And then you go read into it, and it's like, wow, that's not what you presented at all in your plithy little statement.
Well, of late, the ACLU seems to have forgotten the C and the L in their name. So
that's part of the problem with lists like this. Is some idiot out there is going to find this list, and they're going to end up in an argument with me and quote this stupid shit.
Yeah.
Disturbing Zen, thank you. I hope the author continues the list just so we can see 2020 got reelected. This one actually I agree with, and I'm curious if you guys do. The Trump administration moved to severely restrict the type of food SNAP recipients can buy.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that is government interference in your diet. It's the cheeseburger Nazis.
See, I do have a problem with it, and here's why.
What is a SNAP recipient?
That's food stamps. That's what they call it these days.
Oh, okay.
I have seen so many people use their SNAP benefits in ways that are not nutritional at all. Yep. I've seen literally because we have can deposits here. If you buy soda,
oh god, this story.
Yeah, I've seen it happen.
I still don't believe it. It's so hard to understand.
No, it is absolutely. I swear to God, because I had an employee come to me. They'd been on break outside, and they came in like, this guy's out there dumping his soda in the parking lot. Is that okay? I'm like, yes. And what he did is he bought Mountain Dew, took it out into the parking lot, and dumped it all out. Brought the cans back and got $1.20 because he bought a 12-pack, and he actually had like 3 or 4 of them, and bought cigarettes with them.
Enterprising young man.
I've seen women. I was ringing this one woman up, and she bought a whole bunch of shit, and she was over her SNAP amount, and I told her, like, okay, you're over by this much, and instead of she didn't have any cash on her, so what she did is she handed me back meat and left the snack cakes in her cart.
Yeah, I've been behind those people. They it's like I'm glad you can afford lobster tails and 4 bags of potato chips.
I don't have a problem with making some limits on it. Like, if you limited it so you can't buy soda on food stamps, I would not have a problem with that at all. There is no nutritional value in soda.
Okay, you know what? Here's my suggestion. Like, and I just want to hear what people think about this. I'm a fan of Steve 1989. He's a YouTuber. He does MRE reviews.
Okay. Oh God, I've seen those. Yeah.
Yeah, and some of them I watch them because they're fascinating time capsules when he's opening World War II stuff, and I'm fascinated by it. But then he also does new stuff, and oh man, like France may have a shitty army, but they've got top-notch food rations, man. Holy shit. And different things like that. And they put a like, so if you look at American rations, there's a lot of thought put into them. There must be X amount of calories with the calories divided between this percentage to carbohydrates and this percentage to proteins, and no more than this fat content, and so on. They're all pretty economical as things go because it's military and they're trying to get the costs as low as they can and not make them taste like shit. If soldiers can survive on it and survive well, why can't you? I would be, when in my starving ass days watching what Steve 1989 eats, like I would much rather have one of those MREs than my ramen special.
Oh, good God, the pot pies and the boxed mac and cheese I ate when I was working retail for $3.14 an hour. I mean, good God, yeah, yay.
Yeah, I would be all, when I was broke in my master's program, I would have been all over those MREs, the real basic ones too, because at least there's a variety and there's a like 8 different menus or whatever. Yeah, I would have been all over that.
Government cheese, man.
I mean, does that sound like, I suggest that people go, well, so you're going to treat poor people like they're in the military or something? I'm like, I think you're completely misthinking it. The idea, because
what's wrong with doing that?
I hear you. I mean, is the notion not supposed to be it's a safety net, not a hammock? You hear people say that kind of idea.
I've used that phrase so many times.
And it's
safety net, not a hammock. You're not supposed to live there your whole life comfortably.
Like if I was broke sitting around with my friends, I would not ashamedly give my kid, if I was broke, an MRE, because like I know it's a balanced diet, because it's not going to be like full of just sugar, empty calories, because just giving a bunch of soldiers snack cakes in the field isn't going to help them do anything. You know what I mean?
Well, do you guys remember under Obama how many news outlets just thought it was great that he was increasing the number of people on food stamps?
Yeah, that was wonderful. Yeah. That was glorious. They had people wandering around in Appalachia talking to these scrub dirt farmers who are poor but honest, as the phrase goes, and they were like, "Get off my yard," But don't you want food stamps? No. I mean,
okay, Anil Lynn actually just mentioned something I didn't think of, because the army will screen out people with severe dairy issues. Okay, fair enough. That's a good point. Like, yeah. But there are the vegetarian and the kosher and the so on meals. So they do think of these things, but you're right. That's a point I didn't think of. Yeah, okay, so people with certain intolerances and so forth wouldn't be able to do it. But that's certainly not the majority of them, I wouldn't think.
Then you give them the special colored SNAP stamps or whatever.
Well, they just have a card now.
Yeah, but my grandparents and parents, to some extent, I mean, lived under rationing during World War II, and they had little coupons, and you could only get this much, that much, and at no point did they think, well, where's my goddamn filet mignon?
Well, here's the thing. They have a program called WIC. For those of you who don't know what it is, it's Women, Infants, Children. And it's to get pregnant women, and once they have the baby, also some for them, nutrition. And it is extremely limited what you can buy on this. There's actually a list. This is the only thing you can get. And it's got like milk, beans, peanut butters on there. It is all stuff that actually gives you fucking nutrition. And if you, for anybody who thinks that, we shouldn't limit poor people what they can get on food stamps, I challenge you, go to Walmart on a food stamp day and just watch the registers.
Yeah.
And tell me that there is not severe abuse of I have seen a woman slide her food stamp card and then pull out. You ever see the movie I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker?
I absolutely, yeah.
Long time
You know the rib scene?
Yeah.
Let me get one. And he's all poor about it, and then he whips out this fucking stack of. I have seen that in real life. I was like, bitch, never mind. Anyhow, I didn't mean to stay on that one. So it just, as somebody who's watched that, I don't have a problem with certain limitations. You don't have to make it as restricted as WIC is, but again, like if you said you can't buy soda with it, they tried doing that here in Michigan actually, and people in Michigan lost their shit, and they reversed it before it ever went public.
There's been a bunch of people in chat mentioning different things related to MREs, you can't eat them. And like, I appreciate all the thoughts, and you're right. Like, I was just suggesting it not as MREs proper what the military eats, but I'm talking like in terms of there is restrictions. There's either prepackaged foods that's shipped out, and they are already for people that are on Medicare and Medicaid that have it, they can't travel, that are shipped directly to their door. So it's already done in a certain regard. Or I agree, Monkey, with what you're saying upon restrictions of it. There's nothing, if it's staple items, a limited number of items that you can, like, it's got to be meat, or it's got to be breads, or it's got to be dairy, or it's got to be, you know what I mean? Like things that are actually like nutritious, as opposed to other things you could buy at Walmart. Like you could buy fucking DVDs and shit. Like or does it have to be food items particularly, period?
I hate the government being, we know what's best for you, except if this is all on the government dime, then that's a different story. You're willing to deal with the government dime. I mean, I do some volunteer work at a food bank, and I've seen people who are there going through a food pantry, and they're turning up their nose at the suggestions. Well, I don't want that. That cucumber doesn't look fresh.
Beggars can't be choosers.
Well, yeah, that's my response. I mean, I'm thinking in my head, oh dear God, if my grandparents were alive to see this, they'd lose their minds. I mean, I'm not trying to punish people for being poor, but it used to be that poor people knew they were poor.
Somebody suggested the Riley poor people deserve lobster. Remember that video?
Oh yes.
That was what they don't deserve something special every now and then, and it's like, not when it's costing like what you would pay for. Don't get me wrong, lobster is literally my favorite food on earth. Yeah, but I can only afford it very, very, very rarely. You know what I mean? I don't.
I want to address. Go ahead, Scribe, real quick.
I was going to say, my grandparents grew up in the Dust Bowl.
Oh, there you go.
They knew what poor was, and it affected how they treated not only themselves but others and their finances for the rest of their existence. And people learning the value of a dollar, I think it's something that everybody somehow, some way should learn early on in life.
Oh yeah,
because people don't seem to understand, as compared to the majority of the rest of the world, just how good we have it here.
Oh my God!
I mean, even on the basics, I could go on, but anyway, you know what I'm talking.
Real quick, controversial topic says, Ranting Monkey, some disabled people need food help, or do you think $755 per month is enough to cover bills, rent, and food? Look, I am not saying that there shouldn't be food stamps. I am not saying that there shouldn't be help for people who can't help themselves. But again, if you disagree with what I'm saying here, go sit at a Walmart and during food stamp day and watch, and just fucking watch. And you know what? Maybe they'd be able to increase the benefits for people who actually need them if the people who didn't would get the fuck off the system. Or
go to work in a food pantry sometime and watch somebody get all snotty about what is being given to them for free. And that's so disappointing, because you're like, oh, charity. I'm trying to be good about this. And at the same time, I just want to bitch slap them. My grandmother took in boarders. My father grew up with strangers in his home. You know, hello.
Okay, you know what? Something that's confusing me. Like, I'm just looking at the conversations that are going on in chat, and like controversial topics response to Jay Brown saying disabled people don't deserve soda once in a while. Stated like that, it sounds reasonable. What I don't understand is what.
No, it doesn't. Look,
no, hold on. This is just like you're saying people are returning meat and buying snack cakes. I remember going to the grocery store and I have $20. Like literally, I have an $8.20, and I'm going to buy food for the week. I'm not going to buy snack cakes. Like, I need to, like, why aren't the people making rational decisions? What do they do when they've eaten their snack cakes and don't have any food left? I don't understand why they're not self-regulating in this way.
Thank you. No, wages are low because of food stamps. I don't know if that's true.
I get your point though, Polly, because once in a while my dad might tuck a 20 in a note and mail it to me when I was in my first apartment.
Right.
And it was like finding the freaking Holy Grail.
Yes.
I would
and I would buy
buy some
food
cheap
and
wine and the rest of my groceries for the week.
yeah, like I'm gonna look for the sales because you know what I mean. And I had it worked out with the tax and everything. Like, you know what I mean? I don't see why somebody who has Snap money on their EBT card or whatever is going to go buy things that aren't going to keep them fed. I don't get it.
Oh, you could give me a Snap card and I could load in enough stuff in this house to feed me and my husband for 6 months.
Real quick, thank you, James Colley. My parents stood in the commodities line every month getting government cheese, peanut butter, powdered milk, and other stuff. That needs to come back. I don't know that we need to go that far, but you said something with that disabled people don't deserve soda. Why? Why do you deserve soda?
Well, deserve isn't a thing, but should they not be able to buy? Okay, let's say soda's nixed from the list, right? And they
can still buy it. They just have to use different. They have to use money for it.
Oh, okay. I mean, I hear your point, but I mean, what if that's their only?
Well, they're getting a disability.
Well,
check,
let me ask you: if you have the choice between eating one day or having soda, which one would you prefer?
As I already said, I would take the food. That's why I don't understand why this isn't self-regulating. When you're telling me the stories of sitting there at Walmart and seeing people make bad purchases, it's like, are you going over to friends' houses to eat the rest of the days after you've eaten your sugary non-foods?
You know, sometimes you got to thin the herd, dude. I mean,
the statements of the guests of the Ranting Monkey are not necessarily those of Ranting Monkey.
It's like it's like the choice to use drugs and the choice to lower yourself to the point that you'll destroy your life. We cannot control other people's behavior. We can try to regulate it, which is what you're talking about, Monkey. You know, with WIC. I mean, there's a lot of really good stuff ticked off on WIC. I mean, I see the tags all the time in the grocery store, and I'm like, damn, that's good. You know, there's some really good things that qualify for WIC. I know there's some also, you know, how many beans can you eat in your life? But at least you're not hungry.
See,
at least you're not hungry. I mean, you know.
That's my problem. My grandparents grew up, you know, during the depression, not the recession, Obama, where fucking asshole. Anyway, the actual depression where they would eat whatever they could, and they would feed their children whatever they could. Not we have to have lobster like Riley Dennis wants you to have. If you want lobster, fine, pay for it yourself. Don't pay for that on something. Let's say, just using a dollar amount. Let's throw $8. You spend $8 on lobster tails. I don't know how much they actually are. Do you know how much how much other food you could have got with that would make meals for the whole day rather than just one meal, or even for 2 days?
I mean, I remember seeing a nutritionist take some college students around a grocery store because they were like, well, on our college money, all we can afford are chips and crap like that. And she was like, bag of apples costs less than a bag of chips. Guess how many apples you're going to get?
Well, speaking of thinning the herd, number 526 lifted the ban on importing hunted elephant heads. So I had to.
Is that a real problem?
Well, okay, I looked it up, right? Because I'm not a fan of poachers,
sure.
Right? And I'm thinking, okay, what's going on here? And this is a NBC News article. The Trump administration confirmed Thursday it lifted a ban that had prohibited hunters from importing trophies of elephants killed in only 2 African nations, reversing a 2014 rule put in place by the Obama administration. A spokesman for the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service told NBC News that, quote, they had determined that the hunting and management programs for African elephants in Zimbabwe and Zambia will enhance the survival of species in the wild. Okay, legal, well-regulated hunting sports are part of their social management program that can benefit certain species by providing incentives to local communities to conserve those species and by putting much needed revenue back into conservation, which is largely where the money's going back into conservation programs.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
I know what you're talking about now.
Now get this. The reversal will apply to elephants hunted in Zimbabwe from January 21st, 2016 to December 31st, 2018, and to elephants in Zambia from 2016 and 2017 only if their applications meet all other applicable permitting requirements and they were legally hunted through those conservation programs to begin with. They can now bring those elephant trophy heads back. And this guy listed as listed the ban on importing elephant heads. Yeah.
Yeah.
The law in the United States and the law over in Zambia.
That's
where
Nature
they did the hunting.
Conservancy. That's all that was, is Nature Conservancy. And it's, you know, if you let a white-tailed deer get trapped in a particular area, you know, 100 acres, that's it.
Mhm.
The herd will develop some of the most heartbreaking diseases, the interbreeding, all the terror that you can imagine from, you know, generation after generation of inbreeding. And these people think that's a good thing.
Well, it's just the entire discussion point here reduced to 526 lifted the ban on importing elephant heads. And it's like, because bad thing. This guy generates his list, or continues to add to it since he started in 2017, January of 2017, by just searching Donald Trump, Orange Man bad every day.
Orange Man
and,
bad. Well,
and just adding new things to the list.
So
let me give you another one. This is 626. Opted out of a test which would determine if school children can identify fake news.
Oh, for God.
True story. The United States has opted out of a global assessment to see whether students can identify fake news. It is part of the OECD's Global Competency Test for 15-year-olds. It also measures respect for other cultures and ability to resist extremism. What's that?
I was just say resist extremism of what?
Yes. Well, there's actually sample questions. Hang on. Canada, Australia, Scotland, and 25 other countries are taking it. England, Belgium, and Japan have opted out as well.
That's a good sign.
There's some things. Hang on.
Funky sleep.
Sorry about that. I'm actually not. I've slept a lot today. I'm worn out. In a YouTube video that reaches over, this is one of the cultural awareness and sensitivity questions. In a YouTube video that reaches over 2 million visualizations, Renata Flores sings in Quechua, her native tongue, to Michael Jackson's The Way You Make Me Feel against the backdrop of ancient Inca ruins. Renata is an activist in a project called The Youth We Speak Quechua To.
Okay.
The Way You Make Me Feel was about a man caught catcalling a woman. Get woke.
Well, hang on. Question 1. What message do you think Renata is trying to convey?
I can't speak her language.
Is she speaking Quechua?
Quechua, mate. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Quechua. Okay. That looks right.
It's a Peruvian dialect left over from the Inca.
Sure. What message do you think she's trying to convey by singing The Way You Make Me Feel against the backdrop of Inca ruins?
Whatever the hell Yoko was wailing on about back in 19...
it's about cutting off heads for the sun god.
Maybe.
Or The Way You Make Me Feel in front of the Incans. It's about Western imperialism destroying native cultures.
Oh, colonial.
Yeah, it's about Cortez and shit. No, wait, wrong. Wait, where?
I don't know. I'm confuzzled.
Yeah, but he opted out of this.
Planes, I've got it. It's about those little like plane monkeys and things that you can only see from aircraft because of aliens.
Oh, like the Nazca lines.
Yeah, the Nazca lines.
Right, the tarantula and the hummingbird and everything. Yeah,
that's it. Eric von Daniken or whatever.
Yeah, Eric von Daniken, the original aliens did it, guy.
Man.
The original conspirator. I mean,
ancient astronauts.
I'll never forget seeing that movie as a kid and going,
Chariots of the Gods. Yeah.
Number 610. Refuse to help transgendered teens in their discrimination suit.
Oh,
Who are they suing? Over what kind of discrimination? That just begs questions, man. Come on.
In Texas, a transgender teen said his high school discriminated against him for almost 2 years. He was not allowed to use the bathroom that corresponded with his gender identity.
It's not up to the president to intervene in legal matters in the states. Federalist Papers.
The Trump administration view of this case diverges sharply from that of the Obama administration, which contended that Title IX included discrimination based on sex or on gender identity. God, this guy, he sits around, just types in bad orange man.
It is a nice list, though. I mean, it's kind of like Christmas came early.
Reduced fines on nursing homes. What? The Trump administration is scaling back the use of fines against nursing homes that harm residents or place them in grave risk of injury, part of a broader relaxation of regulations under the president. Do you really think fining them is going to make them treat people better? Never mind. I have no real idea or care about that one. Pushed for a rule change that would allow employers to pocket employee tips. Really? Washington Post. I'm sorry, guys. I've read too many of those this week or this month. I have to wait till December 1st when I can read a couple. James Colley says it's about necrophilia.
The song?
I have no Oh, are you talking about The Way You Make Me Feel? I need context. I need context.
Oh, that's great, though. The way you make me.
The way you make me feel. Froze worker-friendly labor laws implemented during the Obama administration. Are they really worker-friendly? What ones did we? During the Obama years, the National Labor Relations Board took a broad view of workers' rights, expanding protections for employees who tried to join a union or come together to improve their working conditions. Under the Trump administration, those rights are being reined in to help out employers. In a memo dated... Yeah, sorry, I almost said employees, but I caught myself.
All right.
Look, you got to listen to me read tonight.
I have been. What do you think? Why do you think it's so quiet? I'm just like letting you do your thing.
You don't get to judge me for how badly I read.
Oh, horse shit! I get to judge as much as I want. Fuck you.
Monkey, sure. I got a hot one for you. You'll love this. If you haven't gone over it already yet. 1092?
What's 1092?
He antagonized reporter Jim Acosta and revoked his press clearance.
Antagonized.
That's
poor
great.
Baby. Poor baby.
He antagonized him? No, I mean, like, no. Jim Acosta's the antagonist. He absolutely is. He screams across rooms during nuclear arms talks. Like, the guy's nuts. He's the antagonist. He would deliberately admit that he's being a provocateur to try and, hold Trump accountable. Like, don't give me that shit that Trump's the antagonist there. Fuck off.
Continued to harass one of the women who accused Brett Kavanaugh of sexually assaulting her. President Donald Trump tweeted on Saturday that one of the people who accused now Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh of sexual misconduct had just admitted she was lying. The woman in question is not Christine Blasey Ford or Deborah Ramirez. It's probably not even the Jane Doe behind the letter sent to lawmakers with allegations about Kavanaugh. Instead, it's Judy Monroe Layden. Pick a fucking last name. Who once claimed to be Jane. She admitted she lied. What? So? He just happened to report it or mention it because it came out that day. He's an evil bastard, man. That's what I'm saying.
1075 clearly inspired the Pittsburgh shooter and all other alt-right terrorists with his xenophobic demagoguery.
Oh my God. I fucking love this list.
Yeah, the Pittsburgh shooter, because Trump has been such an enemy of the Jewish people this whole time.
That moving the embassy over there to Jerusalem.
Or his son-in-law and daughter aren't Jewish by practice, and for fuck's sake.
By the way, it's the shifting goalposts, right? Where it's the Pittsburgh shooter. Well, Trump was responsible because of reasons, and then it's when you can't come up with a reason. Well, he creates a climate of xenophobia whereby they feel emboldened. Well, just reaching as far as you can, huh? It's
what they do.
He's the climate control dude. Quite literally wrong.
Right. Raise campaign funds off CNN's lawsuit against him.
Okay.
So?
Opportunity knocked.
And how much in ratings did CNN get from the lawsuit and everything else involving Acosta at this point?
Well, it's CNN, so probably none. But
Well, yeah,
other
but I mean,
people did from talking about it.
Yeah, the intent and the possible gains from it don't matter, obviously.
If only Don Lemon were part of the press corps, it would have worked better.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Used a doctored video from InfoWars to justify banning Jim Acosta.
Not doctored, live, fake news. It wasn't. It was a GIF, and that's why everybody thought it was doctored. Oh, jeez.
The real video looks worse.
Yeah,
well,
it does.
That's what I mean. It's like the amount of whatever one can latch onto to repeat. I watched CNN that day because I was like, this is going to be great because, you know, Acosta's home network, right? And it was just the doctored photo, which was doctored with their doctoring when the doctor doctored. And it's just kept repeating. Let's just repeat it to the point where people think, well, they're not willing to go this far if it isn't like totally what Sarah Huckabee Sanders sent out was not, in fact, fake bullshit to try and make Jim Acosta look bad to cover why they revoked his press. And it's like, it doesn't even matter because the case is going to be decided by the C-SPAN footage anyway, which is clear as a fucking bell and undoctored. And it clearly shows him putting his hands on her. Hand on her.
Yes, but we got probably the greatest film clip of history for Jim Acosta, him strolling down the walkway to the press.
Oh my God, that was so sad.
Do you have any questions for me? It's like,
do you want to ask me any questions?
It's like, you realize you're the journalist, right? Like,
he wants.
Oh,
wait a
minute! Star. I'm the star now.
Oh God, and that picture of him staring into the mirror, Jim. I really like you, Jim. I do too, Jim. You know, it's like the Daily Wire's tweet on that was just brutal. Jim, are you saying what I think you are, Jim? Mr. Acosta, 5 minutes. I'll be right back. Wink. It's just horrible.
Number 1084. It was revealed that Melania Trump's one-night stay in Egypt cost taxpayers $95,050.
Michelle Obama's trip to Spain.
It doesn't. That's not. Oh my God, that doesn't make Trump horrible.
This is great. 1074 dramatically increased the wait time for citizenship applications. Really? How? And so I go read the article at Newsweek, and you read through the whole thing, and here's the increasing wait times and the increasing wait times. Like in some areas of the country, says it in the first sentence. And it's the number of immigrants applying to become U.S. citizens did surge in 2016, rising by 27% from the year before, especially in the final quarter of the year. I wonder why in the final quarter of the year of 2016 there would have been a dramatic upsurge, and in the first quarter of 2017. You mean right after Donald Trump got elected, everybody fucking lined up to get the fuck in before laws changed and send in their applications? So the surge of applicants is the reason the wait times have increased. Regardless of the particular reason, it's just there's been a surge of new applicants, so therefore the wait times have increased for all the bureaucratic clerical reasons that they would. But he lists it as dramatically increase the wait time for citizenship applications, as if he like sent out an executive order that it will be at least this long.
As if he controls the bureaucracy.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Were all those people waiting the wrong color?
Told an escalating series of lies about the Central American migrant caravan. Why did you capitalize it all? What is it, a band?
Yes, it is.
What is
yeah, this guy. Okay. I'm gonna stop reading this. Jesus Christ.
With I don't even want to click on this one. 1046 withdrew from a 144-year-old treaty involving 192 countries, setting international mailing rates.
Really?
How old was that? How old was that treaty again?
That treaty was 144 years old.
Oh my God! He withdrew from the Treaty of Utrecht. You know, I mean, it's like, oh my God, the 30 Years War ended. He's a bad guy. Yes. Oh, history nerd joke.
Anyway, with that, guys, I do think I'm going to wrap this one up because, oh, fuck. Thank you, chat, for joining us for this unscheduled Monkey in the Morning late night special stream. And thank you for the donations. I can't tell you how much those are appreciated and how helpful they are. Thanks for watching us all the time. You guys are amazing. I love you guys. Polly, Prospero, Scribe, thank you guys for joining me. And we'll probably see you in the morning. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.